Underdog Podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
Keep on persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's an underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's gonna put in the work.
It's over, you know, because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is a big event.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believe in like. I took so many risks to make this thing happen. You know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like I said, I'm energy driven. Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down. All you can do is go up. So are you gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna move up?
Feel the bangers. Feel the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off if she could I can reread.
Yo, what it do? This is the Underdawgs Podcast, Season 3, Episode 15. We have a celebrity DJ, engineer, all-in-one coalition DJs, DJ Deceptacon, coming on the podcast today. Feel me? You know we got to give him a flowers, man. DJ Deceptacon, what it do, homie?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How you feeling today?
I can't complain, man. I'm doing all right.
For sure. We appreciate you accepting the invite, you know, on the Underdawgs platform. Man, for those who may not know DJ Deceptacon in 30 seconds, what would you like to tell the people about yourself as a person?
I think I call myself driven, you know, and I'm very technical. I'm a technical person.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I feel you on that. So, you know, coming out the Sunshine State, you know, where it all started, you know, let the people know where you're from.
I'm from the Bangham, you know, Duval County. Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. I got my people in here with me too, by the way. You know what I mean? You know?
I know.
I have my lovely baby mother here. We'll slide over.
Okay, man.
Say hey to everybody. Yep, we got a baby due March 6th.
Okay.
So that's you know, so a father is something that I want to add to my list of who I know. You know,
congratulations to that too, brother.
Thank you. A DJ and engineer, and an all-around music entrepreneur. Okay,
then. So coming from Duval, from the Sunshine State, for those who may have not visited Duval County, you know, like what are some of your favorite go-to places, you know, to either hang out or eat when you back home?
Oh man, when I go home, I mean, people gonna you know, fuss at me or whatnot for some of these, but I like to go to Jenkins. You know what I mean? They're like, that's not even the best barbecue. Hey, look, to me, it just brings back, you know, memories. You know what I mean? I remember when my grandmother, you know, went and got me Jenkins, you know, barbecue, and it was just different from all the other barbecue. So, and you know, I know it's mostly the sauce and whatever, but it just, that always brings it back to a form of nostalgia for me, to where, you know, it just brings back memories of my grandmother, memories of my my family and how things used to be, you know, which is always, you know, a dope feeling, you know. And then Chicken Coop. That's my other one. I don't know if any of them are still open. Last time I went, I think it was a little hard for me to find one because the one on, I think, I forgot what street that is. Was it Edgewood? Yeah, the one on, no, that's the one downtown, right? No, that's the one that's over there by Sutel and all that. Okay, yeah. So that's the one that I usually go to, but I think they closed it down. I'm not sure, but that's, you know, those are the two places I always frequent when I come back to Jacksonville, mostly.
Okay, then. So I heard you speak of family, you know, and you mentioned your grandmother. Like, who are the ones, you know, coming up that helped supported you, you know, that helped mold you into the man you are today?
Well, first and foremost, I gotta give it up to my granddad. You know what I mean? My granddad, is it messing up, buddy? Good? Okay. Sorry, my granddad, he basically taught me how to be a man, you know, and that's the most important thing of who I am today is his teachings, you know what I mean? And mind you, there's a reason why you have, you know, both the masculine and the feminine in the home in one way or another, because you do need both. You know, my grandfather was, you know, definitely a old school hard knocks, hard love type of guy. You know what I mean? He wasn't afraid to say I love you, which was great, but at the same time, um, he was real strict, real harsh, you know, real determined, because that's how he is. You know, he's a get up and go to work every day. Shoot, he just you know, just because he fell ill is the only reason he's not at work right now. And that was just a recent thing. This was just last year. He never smoked, never drank, highly disciplined. He did military. Then he went into the post office for 40 years. You know what I mean? And while he was doing the post office, he was also the first Black referee and umpire to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Florida. So that's something that he stuck with the whole time too. So he did like 30 plus years, 40 plus years in umpiring in collegiate and high school baseball and refereeing basketball for collegiate and high school, both men's and women's. So his name is Burrow Napoleon. If you ever get to look that up, and you'll see him in the Hall of Fame, first Black man. You know what I mean? So I come from seeds of greatness. You know what I mean? So that's really where I get that from. Now, on the other side of things, my personal skills came from my grandmother and my mother. My mom's a socialite. You know, she has a million and one friends of all different races and ethnicities. And she kind of taught me never to, between her and my grandmother is really the bring somebody home. I had dinner with people who were homeless, you know, at our dinner table, you know, random. Like we met them at the grocery store. My grandmother brought them home and fed them, you know what I mean? And that's the type of stuff that, you know, it's hard to do now. You know, the world's changed a lot, so it's hard to do that now. But at that time, even when it was taboo to do that, at that time, she was the Christian influence that was like, hey, you know, this is what God would want. You know what I mean? So she taught me everything I know about, you know, God and faith. And my mother was a great combination of the two. She kept the balance. She made sure that I didn't take everything my grandfather said straight to heart, because she knew I was, you know, I was still a kid and I was young and impressionable. So she was like, hey, you know, he means well, but you can't take it all direct. You know what I mean? Some things you gotta take with a grain of salt. You know, he love you. He don't mean some of the stuff that he's saying in that harsh manner type deal, you know, and that's just reality. And on the grandmother side of things, she said, you can't be too friendly. You can't be too friendly, because you know, we could have got, you know, robbed or anything else with some of these people coming in the house. So it's a healthy balance, you know what I mean? That's, you know, she's their child. So that, I guess that's the balance that she passed on to me.
Man, that's it right up, man. Because I like how, you know, granddad, you know, set the standards and everything for you, you know, and like it's being a man, he gave you that male figure. And then on the other end, you know, you got the compassion for others, the respect others, you know, you treat people how they, you know, you want to be treated, you know, from your moms and your grandma, you feel me? So that's definitely a good balance. And you know, being a man and being a father too, you know, is the type of world we in. Like we gotta hold on to them values that was instilled in us, you know, that helped mold us to be great. Cause right now it's seeming like, you know, there's really no, you know, standards too much set like that no more.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take it from the beginning. So the start of the process to you becoming, what gave you the spirit, you know, in general to pursue music, you know, especially as a career?
Well, first and foremost, when I was a youngin, my mother and my grandmother always kept me in church. So I was always singing in the choir from the time I could walk. So from there, my grandmother was a connoisseur of the eclectic arts when it comes to music. So she liked orchestral music, you know, Bach, Beethoven, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't even know how much she listened to of it, but she just knew that she wanted me to have that. So she had me listening to it, you know, on top of the, you know, the Christian music that I was listening to in the Christian radio station that was always on. You know, every now and then she'll turn on some jazz, she'll turn on some classical, you know, things like that until I got into kindergarten. When I got into kindergarten, they at my school, J. Allen Axon Elementary School, they offered, you know, music program. So you could choose what instrument you want to play, and you know, they'll teach you lessons or whatnot after hours. Well, one class during the day, and I think after hours. So I ended up picking up the cello at first. The cello teacher, Linda Minky, she plays for I believe she still plays for the Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra. She moved out of state, and when she moved out of state, they switched me from cello to bass because she was the only cello teacher. So they switched me from cello to bass, and then Patrick Billinchong, he was my bass instructor. He plays for the Jacksonville Symphony. So he really took to me. I don't know why and what, you know, motivated him to do what he did, but I mean, to the point to where by the time I was in high school, man, he owned like two $30,000 basses, and he just let me have one. Like, he's like, man, as long as you're in town and, you know, before you go to college, you can have this. And I was rolling around with a $30,000 bass, you know, and didn't have to, you know, pay for it just because he believed in me, you know, type deal. And I was in the Jacksonville Symphony Youth Orchestra for going on like 9 years. You hear? You hear? Yeah. Oh, you can't hear? Oh. For about 9 years, I was in the Jacksonville Symphony Youth Orchestra, and that was pretty intense. And then once I graduated, it was kind of like a choice between, hey, you can have a car in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, while you going to school, we can help you buy a car. This is a decision we made like when I was 16. She was like, you know, we can help you with a new car, because I had a car that I, you know, helped purchase when I started working at 14. I started working as a lifeguard, just kind of, you know, being like my granddaddy. Like, my granddaddy go to work all the time. I want to go to work too, you know, and I want to do something that's fun, and I want to contribute, you know, even though my family didn't need me to contribute, thank God, but it was something that was instilled in me. You know, that is what it is. You know, my grandfather instilled that in me, and it just worked out like that. So I had to make a choice. You know, 30,000 is a whole car, you know, versus an instrument. And, you know, that was kind of the thing. I was like, well, hey, I'll get back to it, you know, when I, you know, get time. But in time, I need to focus on school and going to fam, and I'm going for science. So I know it's going to be something that's going to be not easy to do. So I might need to focus on that. And so when I got to school, freshman year, it was pretty much, I did dorm step team. Shout out to P Foot, you know what I'm saying? Did dorm step team. We came in second place at the step show. You know what I mean? And a couple of my bros was at the step show, and it was like, man, you know, you got some good, you know, you can step, you feel me? You can do your thing. So you know, you ever thought about, you know, pledging? I was like, no, not really. You know, I have my aunt's an AKA, my godmother's an AKA. But other than that, it's not too many Greeks that were in my family. You know what I mean? So I hadn't thought about it. So no pressure, nothing like that. They just was like, well, you know, when you get a chance, look up all the Greeks. You know what I mean? They said, look all of them up. You know, see everybody around the city and see how they come across to you. And if it's something that you would like to do, you know, get back with us. I was like, all right, cool. So I went around, talked to all the frats, did like an interview. Like, okay, I'm really interviewing the frats. It didn't feel like, I didn't know nothing about, you know, doing that interested, you know, IG stuff and all of that. I didn't know nothing about that. So I was approaching it from brand new eyes. Like, okay, well, why is he telling me to go pick up this or go do that and buy him this or whatever? I'm like, I ain't about to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, screw that. So that crossed off one. One of them was off yard. You know, the Kappas was off yard. So that crossed them out automatically. They wasn't even a factor. From all the other Greeks, you know what I'm saying? No offense to anybody who's an iota, but everybody was like, you know, they didn't really qualify. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to fight an uphill battle with that either. So that left, you know, the Sigmas, the Alphas, and the Qs. At the time, the Qs that were on campus, they weren't very, they were very much into that whole hazing, you know, mentality of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so the interested, I mean, if I'm already a part or I'm actually online, that's one thing, but I ain't even, you know, figured out nothing about you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And you already throwing all the frat stuff on me because you think I know what's supposed to be happening. I don't know none of that. So, you know, the Sigmas, you feel me? They were the only ones who like, hey man, until you get online, ain't nothing else, ain't none of that. You know what I mean? We just want you to know what our organization's about, what we're about, who we are, and what we're doing. And at the time, we had an MPAC president that was a Sigma. You know what I'm saying? in the business school, like somebody who's a top ranking like VP in business school was a Sigma. So it was a lot of great influences that they had power positions on campus. So I'm like, okay, this looked like something that I would want to be a part of. So that's what I started to do. And it worked out, man. Everything worked out good. Started DJing as soon as I finished pledging. Like I pledged fall 07. After I pledged, we won the homecoming step show that year. And after that, we started having, parties at the apartment and things like that. And I was like, okay, well, I got my first apartment, first semester, sophomore year, type deal. I got an apartment off campus. And it was like, all right, cool, who we gonna have DJ the party? You feel me? Everybody wanted to chill with the ladies, but ain't nobody really want to DJ. I was like, well, shoot, I'm kind of chilling anyway. I can sit down and relax and so forth. And I'm technically the center of attention at that point. So I'll DJ, screw it. So me and my RJ and Marcus Butler and James C, we all used to kind of throw the parties together over there at Seminole Suites. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day. So, once we started throwing those parties, they come and shut them down and so forth. So it was kind of a cool little thing. I started getting kind of serious about learning it because I'm just a nerd. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna really learn this stuff. So they used to come to shut down the parties. First it'll be the people from the front office, right? But the front office people, they students. It was all students that worked there. So they used to come to the parties and then they would stay. So instead of just shutting them down, they would stay like about an hour and be like, all right, y'all got to shut it down in a little bit. You feel me? I was like, okay. Yeah, get this drink real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Get the lunch plans.
So a little bit turned into an hour, turned into an hour and a half, turned into they getting called for the front office. Like, I thought we told y'all to shut the party down, And then I knew I had to take it serious when one of the parties, the police came, right, to shut the party down. They came in the party and they kicked it for a good 10, 15 minutes. And then the police was like, hey man, y'all seem like y'all having a good time, man. He got my card, got my little business card from me. I mean, what was it at the time? I think it was my Twitter at the time or something.
Yeah,
right?
Twitter was popping. Yeah.
Twitter was popping at the time. So shout out to all my tweeps. Hey, tweeps. All right. But anyway, so they was like, you could if we come back, you know what I'm saying, then we'll file the official report when we come back. And then when we file the official report, you only got an hour from that point, because the second time we come back, you got to shut it down. That was the rules, for the city or whatever, because it's a public disturbance. Yeah, they give you a warning and whatever. So the police started timing the warning so we could be done with the party by the time the second warning came around. I was like, man, look, this I might need to take serious. The next thing you know, the front office was like, hey, we want you to DJ our pool party. I was like, okay, cool. And they was like, well, we're going to pay you. I was like, oh, you can get paid for this? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, that's what's up. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then, of course, all the club promoters came to all the big pool parties. And they was promoting for the clubs that night, how that went. So I started getting into a couple of clubs from there. And then the rest is history. Yeah, man. What year this was, too, by the way? This was 2008, I think, at the time when I started DJing the pool parties. I think the pool party started like 2008, around the summertime. Summertime 2008. You know what I'm saying? And then by the next summer, we was DJing other complexes, pool parties, and so forth. I met my dog, DJ Mastermind, RIP, my boy Mastermind. I met him around that time, and then we was rocking out since then. Yeah, cause I did a little stint in Tally from like 2010. So I'm like, when you saying that, Putnam Road University guards, man, you go down. Then when you speaking of the musical side of the game, like around that time too, like music scene was lit. Like what used to be on the playlist too at them parties when you was DJing. Oh man, a whole bunch of Plies. Some Trick Daddy, Trina. Dang, who else was popping back then? Some of the Total Chaos, Legend. Was it Legion or Legend? I think it was Legend. Legyn. I think that's how they, the ones that had the Lunar Eclipse song and a couple other songs back then. Yeah. Still was playing some classic stuff, some up north hip hop, some DMX, things like that from time to time. Then of course the Atlanta scene started popping with some of their songs. So we got a couple of their songs was down here. Not the stuff that I've learned since I've been up here, but like some of the Laffy Taffy and certain things like that. Some Nelly. you know, things Saint Lunatics and all them, you know. We got some of that up north Midwest type of influence a little bit down there, but most of it was just Plies, Trick Daddy, Trina, you know, Trap Beckham started coming out around then too, I think. You feel me? So he's playing, you know, the booty twerking stuff started happening. So that was all during that phase of it. So you know, yeah, man, we used to have some fun, man. We was some partiers for sure.
I'll say that playlist gonna do it, man. So like even with the music influence too, like growing up, like who is some of your favorite artists or whatever? Like, you know, it seemed like you had a versatile portfolio at a young age, you know.
Yeah. When I was younger, I liked Mighty Clouds of Joy. I liked Kirk Franklin. I like DC Talk. I know that's an odd one too. There's a lot of Christian. John P. Key, Hezekiah Walker. You know, those kind of guys is who I was really listening to because like I said, I was in the church real heavy. And it really funny story. DC Talk was probably the first hip hop I heard outside of Curtis Blow. My grandfather on my dad's side, I spent a lot of time with him too, in Orlando, and you know he was more of a secular music listener. You know what I mean? So we was catching the Michael Jacksons. You know what I mean? My mom liked 90s too, like 90s house music and that whole 90s era of music. My mom used to play all of that too. Like sometimes when we was coming to and from work, to and from school, but most of the time it was you know, she tried to stick with what my grandma was programming. She was like, hey, you know, she got him listening to Chris. I can listen to my, you know, Janet Jackson and so forth on my way to work after I drop him off. But on the way to him, we're going to listen to some God. You know what I mean? So, but after that, I think DC Talk was probably the first rap, which I don't know if you could really call that rap, but it's Christian rap. But I mean, you know, that was the first hip hop I started learning. I was like, man, you know, it's other rap. Oh, okay, cool. So that's when I started kind of getting into the Ludacris, I think was hot at the time at one point. Jay-Z, I remember my Uncle Curtis, he put me down with some Jay-Z. Like when Big Pimpin' came out. What year was that? I'm trying to remember what year that was. But when Big Pimpin', when all of that came out, I was actually hip to that. I didn't listen to
like early old.
Yeah, I don't think I listened to Biggie. I don't think I listened to Biggie or Tupac, bro, until I graduated high school almost. I know that sounds crazy, but when I was about to graduate high school, I think it was like the first time I actually listened to some Biggie and some Pac. I think I got Eminem's album first. Eminem and 50 Cent.
Oh yeah, man. 2003 was lit.
Yeah, I got that albums first, man. I got those albums before I started listening to Biggie and Tupac and all of that. So it was like, okay, this is really, you know, this is a lot. It's a lot of different music out here, you know. And then LimeWire and all of that stuff started coming out before I graduated high school. So I was a nerd. So I was downloading music off of LimeWire and FrostWire and all of that stuff. And, just picking up different albums, whatever was released. So I know Word of Mouth by Ludacris. I know 50 Cent, Richard Die Trying, Eminem's the Curtain Call.
This is the Marshall LP. Somebody.
I don't think I caught the Marshall LP. That was just when he started buzzing was the Marshall LP, right?
Yeah, okay.
And after he kind of got a little famous or whatnot, that's when I ended up hearing about him. Like I heard the I didn't watch a lot of MTV, BET, none of that. I didn't watch a lot of that. I think I started watching BET probably in high school, probably about high school. I started watching BET, and then I think I got a taste of one song or two, but not a whole lot. Like really wasn't a lot of that exposure. It was like I was really an Animal Planet, you know, Discovery Channel type of watching kind of person. Saturday morning cartoons, that's it. Anime. I was a nerd, man. I was a nerd. I played football and all that, but I was a nerd.
I was gonna say, it was crazy when you started mentioning the websites, downloading stuff. It's like, man, you were taking a major risk. You feel me? Your PC health was at risk every time.
Every time. But learning like what type of files have viruses, like just what they look like. Like okay, these type of files, you know, what will give you these type of warnings, and it'll make your computer do this and that. How to uninstall viruses once you got them, because computers were more simple back then, so it wasn't that many steps. It just was foreign for anybody who ain't picked up a computer. It's kind of foreign on how to do that. So it's like, all right, cool, you know, this is how you fix it. All right, this is how you avoid it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then I became like the music man. I used to collect. That's how I got my old music. I remember now. My one of my best friends, Angelo Porter, his pops, he used to collect music and do the CDs for people at church.
Yeah.
He was the local music pirate, right? So I ended up trading libraries with him. All of the new stuff that I had downloaded, I had gigabytes of that stuff, right? Which was a lot
Yeah.
at that time.
Man,
I
for
had
real.
gigabytes of music at that time. And he had like pages and pages and pages and books of CDs from like all of these full albums, like the Michael Jacksons, the Janet Jacksons, the everybody, George Clinton and all of that. So I got all of my old school library from him when I taught him how to upload everything to MP3 form and be able to store it on a hard drive. So that saved him a lot of space because he was burning CDs. So it saved him a lot of space in his house because of that. And in exchange for that, he passed on his whole library of old school music to me.
That's a good exchange.
Oh yeah, man. He would have did it. He would have did it anyway because he's just that type
Yeah.
of guy, and he was like another father to me. So he would have anything to help me out. He would have did it. But it just was like that was just a cool little thing. Like I could help him with something, he could help me with something, and that worked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really needed it for my DJ stuff. So it worked out for the better for that for sure.
Man, speaking of that too, Christian, where is it ripping the DVDs to the computer and then putting it on the hard drive? But I also remember like the hard drives back then was a risk too. Like you had to, learn and grow. You feel me? Like because a lot of them had like they're not SSDs. So when you had them hard drives fail back then, like how did you ever experience that?
Rarely because again, nerd mentality is like you don't move it. You leave that where it's at. You don't move it around until they came out with better ones that you could move around.
Yeah.
So until then, it really was all inside the computer for the most part. And then a couple of drives that came out with those big book, like my book. It was WD Western Digital my books, and they would be like 500 gigabytes, but it was like this size.
I had one of them.
So that's what I started with. I mean, it was just music, so you could collect a lot of music on one of those. So I was super hyper careful with all my stuff. Like even my original Nintendo still works to this day. My original Dreamcast works. My Sega Genesis works. I was the only child, so ain't nobody come. Cousins and so forth wasn't coming over tearing my stuff up. You know what I mean? Really. We had when we went to summertime at my grandma's and them, we used to bring our own systems with us, or whatnot. So he'll get my cousin Brandon to get the PlayStation, and then I got the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll have the Super Nintendo. So I got the Sega Genesis. So that way, when we came together, we could play different games on different systems and so forth. And then we all just took care of our stuff, man. And that was it.
That's what's up. So what was the first piece of equipment you used when you started, DJing, and like compared to nowadays, like where you are in your career, is it much of a difference in equipment now versus back then, or using the same principles?
Oh man, it's same principles, but huge difference. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more technical. It's a lot more stuff to know, but it's a lot easier if you know that stuff. I started out with a just laptop virtual DJ. That was the first thing. After like a couple of parties like that, I just kind of was like, nah, man, this ain't the route. Because I'm seeing, once I started like researching DJing, I'm seeing people scratching and mixing and doing like tricks and all of that. I'm like, well, how the heck do I do that with just a laptop? That's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, how do I get to where it's I'm more professional with it? So I went to Guitar Center. That was my first time really going to Guitar Center, and I've been going ever since. So they got a lifetime customer for me. I need a sponsorship, Guitar Center, by the way. I done spent enough money with y'all. Anyway, for
real.
I bought a Newmark battle pack, a Newmark DJ battle pack. It comes with 2 Newmark turntables that were belt driven. If all the DJs out there, y'all know belt driven is slow. So that's like your old record player that your grandma would have that, and it starts up, like it goes kind of slow. It's not really like a you hit it and it's automatic. Those are direct drive turntables. So I had that battle pack. The mixer didn't have a crossfader curve on it. So it was really like it was just good for mixing, not scratching at all. But I didn't learn that until I already had it, started practicing on mixing and blending, because now I could finally use something. It came with a program called Torque, TORQ. or whatnot, and that was like a version of like virtual DJ that lets you integrate with the system that they had. Came with a little box and whatever. And so once I got decent with that, I learned the limitations of it. I couldn't scratch. The turntables, started up slow, things like that. So I was like, okay, so how do I upgrade? The needles on the turntables were horrible. So I upgraded from that with my first couple of checks that I got from, working the pool parties and so forth, and lifeguarding over the summer. I bought two Technique MK2 1200s. So those are like the golden child of DJing turntables and whatnot. So I got two of those, and then I got a Pioneer DJM 400 mixer, and I still got that mixer to this day. I sold my turntables to a janky DJ that paid me partial. I thought he was my friend, paid me partial for it, and then he didn't tell me he was graduating, skipped town to Miami, and I went to Miami and I found him. But
you can't run off the rip. You can't run off on nobody from Duval.
I ain't go right away. It was about a year later. It was about a year or two later. You know what I'm saying? I saw he started DJing somewhere. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I will come to a show. Yeah. But other than that, I had that. Once I got those turntables, then it was real learning. You know what I'm saying? I got some the better needles. I found out what needles work for what. I bought the Serato SL1 box. So like the first little Serato box that came out, I had that. Then found out you could do video if you upgraded to the SL3. Everything just started morphing and evolving from there. Like now I'm on a Rain 1. That's the turntable now that I use. And it's dope. You know what I mean? It's all in one. Everything's all one controller now, and all of that stuff is just different. From having to buy all these separate pieces, you can just buy one controller and it works with your computer, and everything just works fluid. And yeah, man, that's what we doing now.
Yeah. So even during the process, when you went from upgrading your equipment from the start, like how much grind, how much time invested, you think you put in on learning that crap?
I mean,
like what was the days like for you?
I used to dive into where I forgot where I read this at somewhere online, but a long time ago I read that if you're going to learn, why not get paid to learn? And I think they were talking about like the military, how the military pays you to go to school. And so I was like, okay, how can I get paid to learn? I just took every type of DJ gig I could, weddings, birthdays, it didn't matter. And everybody wanted to throw me something because they saw, was lugging all this equipment. I bought speakers, everything else like that. So they're like, man, he really, bringing the whole party. Like, okay, we're going to shoot him something. You know what I mean? That's how I started. It was just like, because I wasn't treating it like a job. I still had a job. I worked at UPS. I worked at AT&T. So I had, a job that was bringing money to pay the bills. So it was like, this was started off as just a hobby that I started taking really serious. It was like, okay, I could make something out of this if I put some time in it. So I used to DJ every day. We used to have little library battle parties in the DJ library battle parties in the library. So we used to go to FAMU library when we were studying for one of our classes, and we would compare libraries, like who got the most music, who got the newest music, who got the hottest music. We used to do that in the library. So that was part of like just song learning and conditioning. I used to always sing songs and memorize lyrics to all different types of songs. I used to read the pamphlets that had the lyrics in them and like memorize the words and rap the words to the song. That helped, a lot in mixing and DJing. Just practicing on the turntables at these events, at these parties. I used to DJ every single day for some type of event, club, party, pool party, something. I was always DJing. So that helped. That did the most. You know what I'm saying? That let me really really get to where, I am now. It's just really the constant grind. And getting paid for it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It motivates.
Nah, my guy ain't too big, man, to get a bag. So he do events, man. Make sure y'all head over to the Instagram, you feel me? And the event you might need him for, you feel me? He ain't too big to get the bag.
But, for sure. I'm coming.
Man, how long have you been a DJ? And when did the industry come into effect?
As far as like being a part of like the community, the DJ community.
Yeah.
I've been a DJ since 2007, 8. I say that's when I started, I never stopped. So You know what I mean? I consider that the start of it, you know, having my first little piece of equipment and so forth by 2008, like summer 2008, you know, type deal. The DJ community started when I started, you know, just going out to these parties and these clubs. Like once I started DJing, I'm at the DJ booth. You know what I mean? I wasn't the annoying guy at the DJ booth. I just always made sure I went and spoke to the DJ, bought him a drink. You feel me? I was like, hey man, you know, I'm gonna buy you a drink or whatever. Do you mind if I, you know, I'm a DJ too. Do you mind if I, you know, kick it with you in the booth for a little minute? You know, maybe roll a little something up. You feel me? Smoke with you, you know, whatever. And one of the DJs that really, it's 2 or 3 DJs that really were super influential personally for me. DJ Journey. I don't know if you heard of DJ Journey. I think he's in Miami now, and I think he's still spinning in Miami. I need to catch up with my boy too. But he used to be at Bowinkles in Tallahassee. And every time he used to be at Chubby's and Bowinkles. When he was doing Chubby's, he used to let me kick it with him in the booth. You know what I'm saying? I used to bring a lady or two up there too, you know, type deal. Just sweeten the deal if I am bothering the DJ. But he used to let me watch him DJ because he could really DJ. Like he could scratch, mix, blend, everything. He could do the whole kit and caboodle. So I was like, if I'm gonna learn from somebody, I need to learn from somebody who I respect and I think is dope. So he used to let me just watch. Then once I started having some technique, then I would ask him very specific questions on how to do certain things. And that, you know, was better than just bothering and pestering him, that type deal. And he just welcomed me with open arms, like, bro, yeah, man, anything you need, bro, I got you. The next person would be DJ Gemini. Now that was where I got my streets from. You know what I mean? All my street DJing and knowing how to really play for the street folk. That's where I learned that from. And that's for DJ Gemini. Man, he used to take me out to the country towns, like the little boondock town. What's some of them cities right outside of Tallahassee, bro? What's like Gretna, God dog, what else? What's them little cities outside of Tallahassee people used to always go to?
Man, it's been so long for me.
Yeah, it's been so long, man. I know Gretna. Man, but I will look them up. But yeah, we used to go out to those little clubs, little hole in the wall clubs with the country folk and turn up, you know what I mean? Like, and it was one of those, he used to throw me on the spot. You know what I mean? He'd just be like, yeah, I'm gonna be right back, and then just dip off like, bro, it's like 200 people that's drunk as hell. I think it's about 50 guns in the club, bro, and you just leave me up here for them to say shoot the DJ. Nah, bro, you wrong for that. So after he did it the first time he did it, I wasn't ready. You feel me? I ain't freeze, but I ain't do great. You know what I'm saying? The music was A1. I ain't had no problem with the music, but the mic checking, I didn't know nothing about the mic checking. And he just threw me on. So I was really like silent the whole time. So the club still rocked, but it wasn't like when he was rocking it, because he was a mic checker. He wasn't very technical on the turntables, but he damn knew how to run a party. You feel me?
Yeah.
He really work a party. So that's what they hired him for all the time. And so I used to be his opener DJ or whatnot. And so then I started really practicing. I'm like, oh, if he gonna give me that opportunity, I'm gonna take it. So I started really practicing in the car, like mic checking in the car. I'll just hit the on and off button on my stereo while I you know, the music playing. So that's how I used to stop the music, you know what I'm saying, and talk my shit and then pop it back on. You know what I mean? And I used to practice my DJ voice in the cars. And people always tell me, man, your DJ voice sound way different than your regular voice. I was like, man, that's because I practiced it, you know what I mean? And then now I just turn it on, turn it off, you know, depending on where I am. And that just helped me develop my skills and so forth. Them two guys, man, were great influence in my life, for sure. And my boy DJ LQ, he and I basically started at the same time. He was like my mic man, you know, while I was DJing. And it was man, I'm forgetting my boy name. I got a picture of him on my Instagram though. But he was really my first mic man. Oh man, that's horrible. I can't remember right now. If it come back to me, I'm gonna tell y'all. But if y'all DM me and you really want to know his name, I'm gonna find it as soon as I get off of here, I'm sure, and I can tell you. But DJ LQ, he was my ride or die. That's my homeboy to this day. And he used to throw parties. He used to have that Fantasy Island party. You remember that?
Man,
Fantasy Island.
It's so much Blur Dog and talent, especially.
You remember the frat parties though, like the big fairgrounds parties?
Like
Fantasy Island was like the only non-Greek big party that happened. It was a lingerie party, right? So it was that was one of them crazy. What is that? Huh? Oh, hard. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Got new equipment coming in. It's hard. Okay. But yeah, it was one of them parties that they threw, and and Wayne, he was one of the heads of the organization that threw that party. So he was already kind of hosting parties, and so he came on. He learned how to DJ with me. So we used to, do gigs. He got his own equipment and so forth. Then we made us a little team, Crossfade DJs. So it was me, DJ Fumo, who was already a established battle rapper, battle DJ from overseas, from Italy. You know what I'm saying? He done been in the DMC champions and all type of accolades, man. He DJ at Club Space, like big time DJ. But for some reason, he was just cool with us, man. So we used to all ride together, man. Had us a little company, and we used to pick up gigs all over the city and in and out of town and so forth. And yeah, man, just cool stuff.
Yeah. Also, when you mentioned about the mic checking and stuff, like that's one of the things. Like back in the day, I don't know if you remember hearing about. It was kind of big. Pony Express DJs.
Oh yeah, Jam Pony.
Yeah, Jam Pony Express. So like with the mic checking, like man, they was on point. Like, and I feel like today's time, like you'll have this stand out that kind of still do it, but then you'll have some that it's like it. Then that was like you see how like well a DJ was into their mix,
right. It's evolving for sure. It's changing up how people do parties. People don't even dance no more.
Yeah,
how they used to say people didn't dance no more, and then the snap your fingers and all that kind of brought that back. Some of the line dance stuff is brought that back. The TikTok stuff has brought back some dancing, but people still not dancing with each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
that whole culture is like dead. It's like it's either we down there. Can we cuss on the show? I don't know if we cuss on the show.
Nah, you can do your thing, man.
We're
on the Black Owned Independent Network. We do what we want to do over here, man.
Okay, yeah. So it was like either people was fucking on the floor. Goddamn, now it's like either y'all in the corner fucking somewhere, some type of weird shit, or they just doing TikTok dances all night. Yeah. Girls is in groups doing line dances almost like they in a sorority. Trying to, that's the music scene now. Are they sitting in the section trying to look cool?
And I think that's just like a culture perspective. It's just like how hip hop changed. Like, you could look at the movie House Party and see how like everybody was so engaged. It's a movie, but it was that time period of how things was going on back then, Yeah, I feel like it'll definitely come back because everything that once used to be always come back like a trend. So
right, that's real.
So as you started to progress, in the DJ community, when things started going up, like what was that moment for you? Like what was the first real now? Like you went from getting that first check to like I can get paid for this.
Yeah.
Now things started taking another turn. Like when was that moment you realized?
I started DJing New Music Mondays with Rico the Champ. And I did at this around the same time. I did, was that Elements? It was Elements, but they changed the name to it. What did they change it to? It was Club Elements right in front of Baja's, but then they changed it to something else right after that. But I did that for like years. How many years was that? I think it was like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And that was where I met a lot of the independent artists and so forth, and went on that whole journey and learning, get into the engineering and all that came from that. And then I was on the Glenn Jr. show. He had a TV show, and so I was doing TV and DJing live on TV and doing the New Music Monday joint. And the Edge gave me a gig with Gemini. So I was opening up for Gemini like every Friday. I want to say it was Friday or Saturday. I was opening up for DJ Gemini at the Edge. And then that turned into me getting my own night at the club that they had attached to the Edge. I forgot what they called that, Mirage or something like that. So I started DJing there, and then it just kind of boomed from there. Then I'm doing my own little house parties and so forth, and getting hired for different little gigs, birthday parties, and now all my family want to have me DJ for something. So whenever it was a birthday or family reunion or something, it's put on a playlist or whatever, and then I end up just DJing, And I haven't stopped doing that. It's bad. I DJ my own baby shower. It's bad. I they was like, you're not DJing the baby shower. And I was like, man, okay. And then I end up DJing anyway. Because I can't help it, bro. It's just music is a big part of events and our culture. And it's like if you don't have the right music and right flow, your event's not gonna go the way you want it to go. That's just the
Yeah.
truth.
Nah, music definitely is everything. It's an energy. It's a feeling. You know, it's a lot of emotions and everything going to the music. So, if you got that vibe, it's gonna set the tone for everybody. So,
For sure.
um, so let's talk about the transition to Atlanta too. You know, when did that come about? You know,
Okay, so that happened because of the engineering. So I was engineering. I had Nomad Recording Studio. It was a studio that I started managing at first, and then started buying from the owners. Started buying the actual studio from them. And there was an artist by the name of Darnell Davis. He's actually a hairstylist in Tallahassee, or he was. And he sang, and he I forgot who referred him to me, but he came for recording, mixing, and mastering, that type of deal. And he was his manager was Blue 42. It's a man named Blue 42. If you get to look him up, he was one of the original investors in Outkast. So he's a really good friend of Big Boy and all of them. So he came to check out the mix and so forth. They sent him the mix. He was like, man, this sound dope. He's like, man, I gotta come down there and meet him. So he came down there to meet me. And he was like, man, I gotta take you to Tampa to meet Big Boy. I was like, yeah, right. Because I didn't know nothing about the guy. I had never heard of him before, and I was actually an Outkast fan at this point in time, you know what I mean? But I hadn't looked into like their real down in the dirty history. So it was like, okay, I have never seen him in any pictures. You know what I mean? I never seen him in any type of interviews or nothing regarding them. So as far as I know, he capped. You know what I'm saying? That's why I looked. I was like, he probably capping. But I got family and friends in Tampa, so cool. And I got family in Orlando. We can go to Tampa. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If Buddy trying the thing, it's going down. You feel me? So we drove down to Tampa. As soon as we get to Tampa, man, we pull up to the back of this brick building. I'll never forget it. Next thing you know, Big Boy walks out the back of the building by himself. No security, no nothing. Just walks out by himself. Blue, my dog, Blue, what's up, man? Da, 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 da. I'm like, boy, this nigga really knows him. I can't believe this. I was like, okay. So he took us on the tour bus and so forth. Played Madden with Big Boy. I got pictures of that on my Instagram if y'all want to go check that out. That was just crazy. And he had us on stage. He was pulling white girls up on stage and so forth. I met Cutmaster Swift. I just ran into him really like 2-3 days ago at the Waffle House up here. It's crazy because Atlanta just has a lot of celebrities everywhere. So you can we ran into him. Who was that with him? It was Cutmaster Swift and who they say I look like? What's the boy name? My boy Killer Mike. And then them at the Waffle House the other night, like.
Hey, I can't see that now, bro. You said that.
yeah. So we ran into them a couple nights ago, but I met Cutmaster Swift that day, and then after that, I think we stayed in Tampa for maybe another day, and then he was like, "Man, I got to get back to Atlanta or whatnot." I'm like, "Well, shoot, I'll come with you. Shoot, I'll drive you up there. I don't got nothing else to do. The studio basically running itself. You know what I'm saying? I got Tino, my boy Tino, he was there working at the studio. Shout out to Catino. You know what I mean? If you need some good music, go holler at my boy. And we rode up to Atlanta. When we get to Atlanta, I met his nephew is Tight, the main attraction. He's an artist. He's the one who had that song, Drop That Dick Off in That Hole with Future. Yeah. So I met him, not knowing who he was, never heard that song, right? Met him, and we vibed off of me just knowing my shit. You know what I mean? Me knowing how to engineer. It was like, all right, cool. He had a whole studio in his basement that was like broken down, like nothing was connected, nothing was put together, but all the parts were there. I was like, man, you got a whole studio down here, bro. He was like, man, shoot, if you get it up and running, man, you can do whatever. I was like, shit, give me like 30 minutes. So I put the whole studio together, tested it out, made sure everything was working right. And then he started calling his homeboys like, hey, bro, hey, man, studio up, man, come on through, bro. I want to go charge you this, that, and third. So he started paying me to engineer right on the spot. So his place was, I forgot what street it was on, but it was on the east side, like almost downtown east, not downtown east side, but like not quite Decatur, you know what I'm saying, east side. So it was really like in the hood, but it was like a trap, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know what none of that was for real, you feel me? So I was really engineering in the basement of a trap, but it didn't look like a trap on the inside, just on the outside. So he had the house nice as mug on the inside, nice big screen TVs, all that other good stuff. But the outside of it, he was in the worst neighborhood you could probably think of at East Atlanta. I mean, so, from that, I started engineering his homeboys and so forth that came through. And I was sleeping on the couch up there, so that way I didn't have to go get no hotel. So I was just making money. and this was still all a big field trip right now. So that was like
Yeah.
2 days in. And the next day, Blue was like, yo, bro, we got to go meet up with Nitty Beats. I'm like, oh, we about to go meet Nitty Beats? Okay, cool. I'm down with it. What's up, man? We go to Nitty Beats' house. He got this big mansion or whatever. We go over to Nitty Beats' house, and one of the guys from Trillville was in the kitchen when we walk in. So that was I'm all type of starstruck right now. I'm like, man, these are the people I'm playing in the club, and so I'm meeting them in person like it's nothing on a regular day. So we went down to Nitty Beat studio in the basement. Everybody got a basement studio in Atlanta, by the way, if y'all don't know that, but pretty much everybody got a basement studio. And while we were down there, we stayed there for about 2-3 hours. Mike Epps came over. So Mike Epps came over with I believe it was the other dude, the other big boy, not Big Boy from Outkast, but Big Boy, the one that does the podcast and so forth now. They came together and brought this young kid that was rapping. I think one of their nephews or something. It was like, yeah, Nitty, man, we need some beats for him and and put him to work, yada yada. So I got to kick it with them for that. I was sold at that point, bro. I was sold. I was like, I got to move to Atlanta. I was like, I done met like 5 celebrities in a matter of a week. Where I'm in Tallahassee, everybody acts super stank when they come to town. They act like they don't have no time for nobody. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to network with nobody. Like I'm a nobody. But I come to Atlanta and everybody's super friendly. These superstars are just being like cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, this is how Atlanta is. I'm moving. Tallahassee got a glass ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. You know what I mean? So by that time, I had already, became, cool with E-Zone, became cool with A to the L. You know what I'm saying? I done earned some of their respect, you feel me, as far as DJing wise and so forth. So that to me, it was like, okay, boom, they're the guard. They're dope. You know what I'm saying? But in Tallahassee, you keep your position like forever. It's not really like it's over. It's not like, I wouldn't be surprised if the same DJs are still DJing on the radio.
And so it's like you get to a certain point, and that's it. Like, that's it.
That's basically it. You gotta really take somebody's job, you know what I'm saying? And it's all type of homeboy deep ties that's connected to that job. It's not just about, how good you are. It's like I went to school with this man in high school. We've been throwing parties together for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So like, until he die, he gonna have this radio spot. You feel me? So that's really how I'm like, ain't no room for that. Let me go. You know what I'm saying? Let me go somewhere where I can make my own impact and do my own thing.
Yeah.
And so, here, me and my boy DJ Mastermind, we came up with a master plan, you feel me, and moved up here to Atlanta, and it's been history, man, since then.
Nah, most definitely. So with the Coalition DJs, let's talk about one of the biggest movements out of Atlanta.
Coalition DJs, you got DJ Big X, DJ Funky, also Nando at the time, basically put together the coalition. And Astro on his way too. Yeah, he coming for a minute. My bad. So with Coalition, he not here yet. My bad. So with Coalition, Big X and DJ Funky, they started Coalition DJs. Was just a group of strip club DJs that were kind of at the biggest strip clubs, Magic City, Strokers, Pinups, and so forth. And they were at all the biggest strip clubs. So they were responsible for like Future, really, like they're one of the driving forces for why Future is who he is. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, Future always shows major love to them. You know what I mean? As well as like Too Short, Snoop Dogg. You'll see them just work with Funky and X on random stuff because they actually are friends. You know what I'm saying? They really truthfully are friends. Ice Cube. So because of that, and because they grew up in that era and they were so big in that era, they decided to put together, like basically a coalition of DJs, you know what I mean? The different DJs that have influence and try to break records from these independent artists, you know what I'm saying? And put them on the same pedestal as some of these labels, to basically battle the labels. That was the whole premise of it. And they are families. We're a family, we're a community, of DJs, and we work together, And yeah, man, they've been a huge influence, for me, for sure. A lot of the people that I met and a lot of the places that I've been, I can attribute to Coalition in its entirety, for sure.
That's what's up, man. That's definitely big. I also seen y'all had the 15-year anniversary event also the other week, man. How did that go?
Yeah. It went pretty good, man. We had a little rowdiness go on towards the end, but it was pretty cool, man. It was a dope show, for what it's worth. We're gonna have us a little video release of our what do you call that? Our recap. We're gonna have a recap video drop soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure you built a mountain of accolades up under your belt. Any you would like to share from whether it's plats or artists you just work with in general?
Ah man, shout out to all the artists I work with. I think it's going on anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 different artists at least by this point.
Oh man.
Might be a little bit more than that. Me and Nancy were just talking about that the other day. Between me and Nancy, we've done at least 20,000 songs. At least. You know, DJing wise, I don't even know. It's a lot. It's a lot of years, man. A lot of living. Shout out to, Future for giving me my first plaque. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That was some real dope stuff. Shout out my boy Jose Guapo. You know what I mean? Jose Guapo had me do his whole album recently, and that was major. Shout out my boy Michael Montana. Worked on a new song, just dropped one with him. Yeah, man, it's a bunch of people who really, kind of gave me a chance, huh? Oh, let me not. Oh, I'm forgetting where I come from. Lord help me. So shout out to Woo the Kid first and foremost, man. My dog Woo the Kid. That's Flocka's brother. He's the one who, when we came up here, let me back up. Shout out to Frenchie first. Frenchie is the one who reached out with DJ Junior, and they reached out to me while I was in Tallahassee and said, hey, bro, we recruiting DJs for for the campaign and so forth. You want to be a Brick Squad DJ? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, I'm with it, or whatever. So I became a Brick Squad DJ from that point. And so when I came to Atlanta, I ran into Woo the Kid while I was up here doing a radio show with my boy Mad Dog over there at the Metro Loft, you know what I mean? And from there, he just kind of took me into the family, man. Like I just was at their house every day, engineering, DJing, and just kicking the bobo, all that good stuff, man. We was just chilling. And like they just been a part of what I've been doing DJ wise since. You know what I mean? I always keep up with them. Me and Woo got the same birthday. So it's like, we always keep in touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Brick Squad.
Shout out to QC also, you know what I'm saying? My boy Levi 2 Official, you know what I mean, and Lakia, my boy We Too Hard, and they whole family, my boy Head Omerta, all them boys, man. Appreciate y'all. And shout out to y'all too.
Oh, definitely. So any memorable moments you would like to share in your career? Like what would you be considered, like your biggest moments, your MJ or your Kobe highlights of your career?
Man, biggest moments. So as far as like connections wise, man, I DJ'd for a senator's daughter's wedding in Jacksonville. That was a big check, but it was more about the connections. It was like senators was there. Yeah, it was a couple senators was there. The mayor was there. It was like it was kind of intense. You know what I mean? Like I was sweating bullets the whole time. Like, man, I can't mess this up. Like, I can't mess this up. DJing some of the events at school. Some of those like we had a pet rally. I did one of those at school. I used to DJ on the set from time to time.
Yeah.
Those were pretty big. Some of those parties at the Edge, man, had 1,000 people in them, man. That was significant too. And then of course, some of these I went on tour with Papa Duck. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Had a couple people in that crowd. And then up here in Atlanta, like, it's been a couple of 5,000, 6,000 people crowds that I've been a part of. So, that's definitely some things, but I think the studio moments probably stick out more. Like making those albums with those artists, some of the artists that I've recorded, like Jim Jones, Flocka, recording Thug, those are like moments that I still remember to this day. Like, okay, these are things that are gonna stick with me, But other than that, man, yeah, it's just another day at the office for me.
No, no doubt. Gotta give your flowers on that, bro. You know what I mean? Like you put a lot of time and work into your craft, to humbly, you're being humble right now, you feel me? When most would just be on a whole nother type of level, but your true love for your craft and doing what you do, you feel me? Like, definitely respect on that.
The best is yet to come. We got some stuff going on now, bro, that's gonna dwarf anything that I've done in my past career. So, I'm still looking forward. I'm looking forward and shout out my boy Dane Doja told you podcast, you know what I'm saying? And we started a podcast, Word on the Net podcast.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna tap into that.
So we got to have you guest appear on our show as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
and that's we're going more into the video side.
Yeah, we ain't done yet though, man. You feel me? I had to do my research and homework on you. You feel me? And put it together good for you. So now, do you remember, the first artist you worked with, in the song you wrote?
Artist. Ooh. As a DJ or engineering wise?
It could either or.
Okay. First artist that I DJ'd for. Ooh. Oh man, I'm old. First artist.
Oh, I gotta tap into the hard drive right now.
Ooh. That's a long time ago, man. It had to be some independent artist from Tallahassee. I can tell you that at New Music Monday.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the only thing I can think of.
So like you remember the song you probably wrote that was just, went crazy.
Ooh.
After you engineered it though too.
Oh, okay. Now if we're going engineering wise, okay, like I would say engineering wise, what song went kind of crazy after we engineered it? Oh. Man,
it ain't even gotta be the very first. It could just be one of the one of the ones.
Campaigns. I've been a part of a lot of campaigns and put my little input in one way or another, whether it's just recording or just engineering. I'll shout out the artists that I know that we worked with that's been on some motion. Shout out to my boy Rico Richie for sure. You know what I'm saying? As far as DJing wise, I definitely put some work in trying to break that. That took a village though. I ain't gonna lie to you. That took a real village to break that record because it be popping. You know what I mean? That's the record. So that's one. And then one of Future's records didn't get released, but definitely had one of his records that was on deck with him that was gonna come out. That didn't come out though, some paperwork stuff. So that kind of sucks. But other than that, major campaigns, other than that, man, a lot of coalition stuff, man. Just being a part of coalition, we broke everybody from from the Migos first album all the way through. Like they came, sat down with us and literally played every song on the album before the album came out, and then asked us which song they should go with for the single. You see what I'm saying? So like when Bad and Bougie came out as a single, that was one of our suggestions. Like we got to pick out of like 7-8 songs and say, nah, that one. You feel me? And then we pushed that song. You know what I mean? The Baby before he got big, same thing with him. Black Youngster, same thing with him. You know what I mean? A lot of these cats, you meet them, they genuine people, they good people, man. They just trying to work and make a living, and they just need a little help. You know what I mean? So that's what we do. As DJs, that's your job. Is to make a little, make a little effort, make a little help. And there's a lot of independent artists, man. If you go, I have to go back and really just go through my library and pick out the most influential ones out of them and really bring that back to you. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's just like, hey, we do the work and we keep it pushing. Do the work, keep it pushing. And then the artists that stick with you, like One China, Get Money George, you know what I mean? Those artists, like, we make money doing 1,000 different things in the industry. So they're successful to me. You know what I mean? That's what's personal to me. You know what I mean? As far as the world and the Billboard charts and so forth like that, we're breaking into those on the DJ side of things. But I'm looking for that new artist to break off and make some big hits. The newest one's been like We Too Hard. I did his whole album. He taken off and got signed by QC. That was major. You know what I mean? But it's still like new stuff that's coming on. Oh, Trap. I mean, well, we could talk about Trap Beckham too, of course. Trap is an international artist now. And I've been playing his music since Ooh She Thick and all that stuff before it came out. But it's hard for me to think about, who was impactful, because it's like, oh man, we're doing it. When you start getting into that mode, people start getting lazy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, we still got work to do. We got to keep working. We got to stick with the work. You know what I mean? I'll probably write a book or something when I can put it all together better,
Yeah. So what advice would you give, DJs up and coming? As the game has changed so much, like for the current state of where it's at, like what advice would you give them?
technique is everything. The more you work on your technique, the more you'll get paid, period. If you know what you're doing, people respect it and they'll pay you for it. You have to demand some respect too. So, know your craft to where you are who you say you are. And then from there, know your worth. And yeah, you can get far in it. Stay versatile. Do every type of event. If it's an event that you don't know how to do it anyway and prepare for it. I've done bar mitzvahs. I've done uh, events for high schools, Punjabi, the Indian folk. I've done Latin parties, bunch of Latin parties, parties where I they don't speak English at all. We're communicating through phone, through Google Translate. You see what I'm saying? But I can do everything that they need me to do. They had a blast, you know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it. You communicate through your music. So you can do any type of party you set your mind out to. Just do the research. And with the resources that people have now, man, you could download 1,000 million songs. Oh yeah. Yeah. Flawless, Mimi. Shout out to them too. I do need to do better with that, man. I be forgetting my people. That's just bad. It's just bad, bro. I be forgetting. It is too many. It's a lot of folk, man. But Mimi from Love and Hip Hop, and Yaya Flawless. Shout out to them too. Those are artists that I've done their music and they've made some big splashes, so forth. Fame, shout out to Fame. Yeah, man. Bella Black, shout out to Bella Black. There's a lot of people with motion now, but like I said, y'all gonna see them. They coming. Y'all gonna see them for sure. It's just a matter of time and effort, So they already crawling up the charts as we speak. But yeah, DJs work hard, bro. That's it. Work hard. Find you a DJ mentor, and pick the right ones. Pick the right mentors to DJ under you. Learn as much as you can on your own before you go bothering another DJ. Because if they working hard for real, they ain't gonna have a lot of time. So you're gonna need to ask them specific questions so that way they can really give you the right answers you're looking for.
Yeah, I feel the DJs just take notes, from this how you did it. Go up, and build relationships. You feel me? And go from there.
For sure.
As an artist myself, I understand the importance of a DJ. This is a very controversial subject from some artists. Some they feel they need to compensate the DJ little to nothing. But to spend a bag on either bottles and strippers and stuff like that, running their campaign. But they don't really have none for the people that's carrying the record. Like, how do you deal with those type of artists that have that perspective? Or do you?
It's all about business. If you worked for Coca-Cola, you'd have to learn how to market Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? So if you're marketing your music, you have to think about what are the outlets for your music. Nowadays it's a lot of different options, but how you make it to one level of the music industry isn't how you make it to the next level of the music industry. So you could be a local joker, you know what I'm saying? You could be a YouTube artist only, you know what I'm saying? And you can make you some okay money. But if you're trying to chart, you're trying to be in the top Billboard top 200, Billboard top 100, the top 10, you're gonna need DJs. There's no way around that. You're gonna need DJs unless you're gonna do a different genre of music and not rap. If you're doing rap, you're gonna need DJs. Period. If you're doing R&B, you're gonna need DJs. Period. Radio DJs, club DJs, every type of DJ. You're gonna need DJs. You can't avoid it. If DJs on a normal at a club get paid between $150 to $300 a night, right? And one bottle costs $300. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Come on, fam. You got to think about that. Like, you could own the DJ if you look at it that way. If you want to just spend the money, so like $50 go a long way. $100 go a long way for a DJ on a night where he ain't make nothing else but what he gonna get paid. You feel me? So if you do it the right way, and I don't think you should approach a DJ on the night of and asking to play your music. I don't believe in that. Most DJs don't respond well to that. Most of the time, the best way to approach a DJ is off campus, outside of the club. Hit him up on his live stream, hit him up on his YouTube, hit him up on his Instagram, like a post, comment, subscribe, show some initiative of you trying to get to know them as a person. And that goes a long way with you trying to push your music their way, because they're gonna try to, hey man, you know, you've been supporting me, bro. What you got going on? And that's how I come across. Now I can't speak for every DJ. Some DJs are dickheads. I'm gonna be honest. But you know, for the ones who really are about their craft and really know that their role in the industry is to help the artists, they know what's up. They just want some respect. That's all. They see you spending $1,000 to perform on the stage. They don't want spending the music. You know what I'm saying? But they see you spend $1,000, but when you like, hey, you know, break me off something, you know, whatever, they look at you crazy. Like everybody wants something from the artist. I understand that, but the artist's trajectory on money in the music industry is you eat shit for years, and then you have a big hit. It spikes you all the way to the top. You make millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And then from that point, it's your job to recycle your millions of dollars to make more money. And that's how that goes. If you don't do that the right way, you're gonna fall off. You're a one-hit wonder. End of story. So you just have to know your craft, know what it takes to make it in the industry. Research. Really learn how do you make money in music? You know what I mean? Most artists don't even know the answer to that question. How you gonna make your money back? They spending money not knowing how they gonna make their money back. Like I'm not about to go and buy no weed or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where to block at. What you doing? You gonna buy it and sit on it? You gonna smoke it all? Like what you doing? So it's the same thing with music. You got to learn your craft, learn your business, man. Learn what it takes to make money in the industry and how you're supposed to get to that money.
And then
your promotions.
I would say then being that the music industry has changed from hard disc copies to how it used to be to nowadays, like you got pros and cons with everything, but you know, it's just different. Some people say the old way was better with the physical copies. Back then were maybe $15-$20 a pop.
The old way was easier. The old way was easier, but more expensive. That's the key. They made everything accessible to everybody, which watered down the market to an extent to where it's anybody can make a song. Anybody can put out a song. Technically, anybody can be discovered now, right? So you have to do that much more work to rise above that pile and be noticed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta dang near, as a rap artist, you gotta damn near crash out now in order to get some type of recognition. You gotta 6ix9ine some shit to get some recognition. You know what I'm saying? You gotta gun us some shit. You feel me? You gotta do whatever you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? To get some recognition. That's some major responsibility, buddy, for you to just to get some shine. That's rough. You know what I mean? So, or you could do a more creative route like Akeem Ali. You know, my boy, shout out my boy Akeem Ali. Like that's some creative, you know, type of, you know, showcasing your real skill, you know what I mean? Because he's going for more the J. Cole type of lane, you know what I mean? He's not really trying to be the next pop rap artist, you know? So it's about where you want to be and how you want to do it, because you might have to take some penitentiary chances to get to where you're going if in this rap industry, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know the business, if you know the business, you can make it. You can really make it. But it's you got to realize every artist doesn't have to go to school. There's no requirements for learning to become an artist. You could just wake up one day and say, I'm an artist. And that's all it takes. So if you learn anything, you're putting yourself above that level of I'm just an artist. Now you're an artist that knows the industry. Then you build your connections. Now you're an artist that's in the industry. You see what I'm saying? You're a part of the industry. Now, once you're a part of the industry and you have your fan base, now you become your own mobile business. You just your own business at that point. And you could generate money and recycle money however you need to.
Wow, real deal. So like, is it any moments too, piggybacking to the DJ perspective? Like, is there any moments where, you know, artists approached you where they just didn't have it together? You feel me? Like,
oh, thousands of times, millions of times. I mean, and I hear it's the same speech every time, bro. This the hottest shit you ever heard, bro. This, I swear to God, bro, man, you put this on, the whole club gonna be jumping, bro. And so, like, you know, I approach it differently every time. Sometimes just depending on the field and how they are, you know, I off rip tell them, hey, you know, well, I charge this to play music. You know what I'm saying? Damn, bit, bro, you gonna charge me to play? I was like, you approach me I'll explain it to him. I'll take the time to explain it to him because education is important to me. Hey, you're bothering me. Number one, nice to meet you, but you're bothering me. I'm focusing on DJing. So for me to take my attention off of what I'm doing to focus on what you're telling me is already worth something. Then after that, you want me to play a song I've never heard. I don't know you. and my job is to play the hottest and best music for the crowd that you seeing. So if I play your song and they don't move, I'm risking my job. Yeah, I'm risking my job.
Oh yeah.
Just for your benefit. It's worth something. So if I'm possibly gonna lose a check messing with your music, then you need to replace that check. Or you can send me your music through your email and I'll check it out later. You feel me? And I'll do that too. Like some people they'll be like, oh, okay. They'll just pay. You know what I'm saying? And when they pay, I don't just play the record and that be it. No, I turn them up. I play the record. If it's good, I'll run it back. You feel me? If it's good or not, I'll announce whose record it is. Because I'm gonna put you on the spot at that point. Hey, shout out to my boy that just brought this record up. He right here. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my boy. And I play the song. Why? Because you took a risk. You see what I'm saying? You took a risk. I'm gonna take the risk with you, but you're gonna get the real deal result. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see what people really think about the music. Because I'm gonna tell people, I'm like, what y'all think about the song after that? You feel me? So that way you can get a dose of reality and not just the homeboy like, yeah, that's dope. Give me some more money. No, I ain't like that. I ain't a yeah, that's dope. Give me some more money type of guy. It's a hey, this could use work. You could change this up. This could be better. This could be, you could change this to make this better. You got potential here. Let's fix it. I got studios. You feel me? We could fix whatever the heck wrong with your song for the most part. If you have some type of rap talent, we could fix that. We could make you a song that could go somewhere. That's not a problem. But you in my club right now, in my face, you know what I'm saying? And you don't know me. You ain't follow me on Instagram. You ain't do none of that before you came in here to even know who I am. And you just want me to just do something for you that could risk my job just because you asked. Nah, it ain't going down like that. You want to pay something.
Yeah,
that's how most DJs feel.
I feel like anybody, whatever you do, anything you involve yourself in, you got to do your homework on it. You feel me? Like you really got to turn into a criminal. You feel me? Metaphorically, you feel me? You got to case everything out, know what's going on. So when you do it, you know what you're getting yourself into.
For sure.
You know? So enjoy most about what you do though.
The people, conversations, the connections, the relationships. That's really what drives me in the industry. I like helping people. You know what I mean? I'm an Eagle Scout. Like that's just ingrained in me. Help people. My grandma, granddad, help people. You know what I'm saying? People need help. You help people. You know what I'm saying? Your help is worth something too. You know what I'm saying? But do your job, do it well. People will come back. And you build relationships off of that. And it's all worth it.
So we're gonna talk about the Break My Track, platform that you created as well to give extra spotlight for independent artists. Like, what are some of the services artists can take advantage of from this platform?
Literally everything. That was the goal. That's what we've pretty much achieved at this point. We could take somebody from writing a song, finding a beat. We have producers that we have signed. So we have a whole production team, almost 20 different producers that we've signed that you can get beats from. So you don't have to YouTube every damn beat. You know what I mean? Then recording your song, mixing, mastering, video treatment, shooting the video, podcast, publishing. Yeah, getting your publishing together. We have a publishing company also. From A to Z, man, we cover it all. So that was the goal from back then, just out of the frustration of artists asking me questions I didn't know the answer to. Yeah. It was like, man, well, what I need to do next, bro? Shit. Oh, I didn't like having to say that, bro. It's like, okay, like I don't like this song. Now what? You feel me? Like that was a horrible point. Like people bring me songs to the DJ booth and it was like, yeah, bro, this is what I got. And I'm like, man, that ain't it. And that was the end of the conversation. So that's why the studio had to come around, because it was like, man, I need to be able to tell these people how to fix what they got going on. And then it was like, okay, well, how to market what they got going on, how to promote what they got going on. Then it was, okay, I need connections to give them to help them, move where they need to move. You know what I mean? Then it was people with bigger budgets that really had motion and needed a bigger platform than what I could do. I needed to have connections to get them, to let them be able to go farther in their career past what I can do, So yeah, that's where Break My Track was born from,
Most definitely. So being you engineer for a collage of artists out of everybody you work with, as all artists vary, like what's some of your likes and dislikes when you in a session with an artist and you engineering?
Unprepared. If them being unprepared, I don't like. I really don't like sessions that aren't planned. So if I know that you're coming in and you're trying to pick out a beat, write a song, record it, mix it and master all in one whop, it's gonna take some time. You know what I mean? So I don't like people coming in and wasting time. You know what I mean? Even if it would make me more money, I don't like wasting time. Like, yo, just come through for a sit down. Let's listen to some beats. You know what I'm saying? Or let me send you some beats to listen to. Once you pick out the beat that you like, then write to that motherfucker. Like, put it together. Then once you got it, put it together, rehearse it. Rehearse it. So that way when you come in the studio, we can really be creative because you know the song. We can switch up and change up whatever will make it better. And then my actual skill set will be of use to you because we can really fine tune it and make it something that would be chartable. You know what I mean? From the time you come in versus me telling you 5, 6, 7 different times, do it over, do it over, do it over, do it over. Not like that, not like this. No emotion, no, you know what I mean? Like they don't be ready. You know what I mean?
Now it's like you being the artist for them rather than them being the artist. Because
exactly.
Like,
and then
they don't got a way of what they want it to sound like.
Now I don't mind that if they're gonna give me my executive production credits, but most of them don't know what executive production credits are. So it's like that's a whole nother headache trying to explain it to them and let them understand I ain't trying to get over on you. This is just work. This is what the work is. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain people I'm just like, hey, you figure it out. And then once they realize like that they actually needed what I was telling them, then they want to come back and be like, well, yeah, let's work out this, let's work out that, and it's like, you got to take that with a grain of salt too. Like they don't know no better. So it's all right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I still work with you, bro. I ain't got no hard feelings toward none of that. You just didn't know. So cool. Let's work. Now we there now. So let's work, but preparedness, man, they need to be prepared when they come to the studio.
Yeah, I feel like just because today's time, like you said, somebody I'm an artist today, versus like you say back then, the talent was more well known, but like you say, the person that's really talented, like you say, it's easy to be discovered. So person that's really talented got to work 10 times harder to get above the other ones that's in the mix too. You feel me? Like,
right.
So definitely. So what is something you feel you provide being a DJ and engineer, that stands out from everybody else doing the same thing you doing?
Just what you said, bro. The fact that I can DJ and engineer, you know what I'm saying? Record, mix, master, DJ, video record. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on editing, but I have an editing team that's superb. Shout out to Diabolical Koala, shout out my boy Perry. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy Jay Lee. Jay Lee TV is in here also, by the way. But my team is good at what they do. So sometimes you just got to let your team do what they do. I'm learning certain things about video editing as we go, but I'm still learning every day on my crafts that I've mastered already, you know what I'm saying, and adding to those. So I don't want to dive too deep into a brand new craft unnecessarily. I'm taking that spoonfuls at a time. But the fact that you have somebody who knows all aspects of the industry all in one place, and you could actually have me sit down during the creation of your song and fix things that you don't have to fix later, that's important and that's unique, and there's only, I think, maybe 2 DJs or 3 DJs in the whole city that own a studio. So I'm always part of that elite list of people.
That was up. So also when it comes to these venues, you've been a part of, the Sahara Lounge in Atlanta every Friday night. Like, how did that opportunity come
Sahara's, man? R.I.P. Sahara's, man. Sahara's has officially closed as of January 9th of this year. They just closed. That was a 9.5 year run. Well, actually, correction, it was more than 9.5 years. It was about 10 years. It's about a little over 10 years of a run, actually. But yeah, man, that was from off of I was DJing at Peaches of Atlanta, the strip club, and the security guards at Peaches of Atlanta, they liked how I DJed, and they said, hey man, we got another club that we do security at. They really need a good DJ, bro. They've been struggling with having a good DJ. So they brought me out there to meet them, and they threw me on the spot on New Year's Eve was my first party at Sahara's. I rocked it out. They was like, man, you are a DJ. You know what I'm saying? It was some Arabic guys, some Egyptian guys. Shout out to Adam and Mustafa and all of them. They were like, yeah, you are our DJ. Whatever you need, you are our DJ. I was like, cool, And so when they sold the club, they sold me with the club. They were like, we not sell you club unless you take DJ with you. you know, type deal, like on some family stuff. So
Yeah.
that's how I ended up with my boy Nana. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nana. You know what I mean? He's the owner of Atlantis, Sahara's, Aura, and Lily's, the restaurant. So all those other names that I named came off of him owning Sahara's first. He owned Sahara's, you know, made it great, you know, and built all these other clubs off of that, and continues to run those as we speak. And there we're working on opening something up in about 6 months to a year. We're gonna have another club spot open, and I'm gonna jump back on with my people. But in the meantime, I'm at Spanky's right now on the north side. Shout out to Spanky's. And club Atmosphere that's about to open up in another month. That's one of the biggest clubs in Atlanta.
I was just about to say that Atmosphere sound like something big.
3,000 people plus, bro. It's like, man, it's something out of a movie, bro. It's some movie style, look like some European club style.
What side of town this on?
South side.
Okay.
South side off of Riverdale, man. Okay. Yeah, shout out my boy Big Mason. Big Mason is the owner of that. And that's gonna be crazy. So really looking forward to that for sure.
So the new Music Monday, as you mentioned, for independent artists, like what can an artist gain from that experience, you know?
New Music Mondays is awesome because you can bring your songs that you're not sure about. You can use it for different reasons. So different people use it, New Music Mondays, for different reasons. Some people know the songs that they want to push, right? Or know the songs that they have that are good, but don't know which song would be the one that DJs would want to play. So that's the reason they come to New Music Monday, to figure out which song is it that the DJs like out of the good songs they have. Some artists don't have a direction at all, and they just want to see what they got. So they come there for that. Some artists come there to work on their performance presence, to see how people take to their performance and to practice their performance before they hit a bigger stage. But they want to do it in front of influential people that are going to give them a no-nonsense response. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're not going to pretend. They're going to tell you the real, and they're going to tell you, hey, you suck.
Yeah.
Get it together. We got people to help you. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna just tell you suck. We're gonna point you in the right direction of who you need to do to fix, you know, what you need to do to fix, you know, what's going on with your music or your performance or whatever. And then if the song is hot or the songs are hot, then DJs automatically just like good music. Bro, we hear a song we like, bro, we're gonna get the song, and we're probably gonna play it. You know what I'm saying? You know, to keep it in rotation and keep it at the forefront. Okay, yeah, you can do your packages and so forth. That's what you need when you're doing a campaign, is to have as much exposure at one time as possible, which is why you do the campaigns, not just get DJs to play it. Because if your music is good, man, the good DJs are gonna play your music. It's the frequency. It's how frequent do you want them to play, you know, this particular song, because we have a million songs to choose from in a night. So, you know, to keep your song on the forefront during that time and to make everybody pay attention, that's what you do the campaigns for. But New Music Monday is definitely a good stomping ground. If you're gonna do any type of open mic type of situation, that's the one that I would pick versus anything else, because there's a lot of other places where there's nobody there that can help you, nobody that can put you in a better position. You know what I mean? And there's a couple open mics that, you know, at least just give people a platform to try, and I appreciate that about it. But you know, they're trying to make money too. So sometimes it's like, oh, we got special A&R this from some label, and the label don't really got nothing popping for real, or that person don't really got no power in that label, but they just have some type of title or recognition from some past stuff, and they pass that off as a reason that you should be paying $75 or $100 to perform one song. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, cool, but what they doing right now? What are they doing to help you right now? You know, they can't do nothing for you right now. We can leave New Music Mondays that night and have your song playing in 10 different clubs in Atlanta by the next day. Guaranteed. Not even on no possibility. No, it's gonna happen. So that's the type of movement that we have, and the type of power and influence that we have. And then, not to mention, when we post it out on our social media, people pay attention. You're gonna gain followers, you're gonna gain streams, you're gonna gain influence just from rocking with Coalition, period, point blank. And every DJ crew can't say that, but we can. You know what I mean? So I brag on Coalition a lot, because they're different. They actually pay their DJs too. You know what I mean? If the artists come and they're spending on the campaign, the DJs are getting paid, so they're gonna play the music. It's not like the CEOs of the DJ Coalition are collecting a check, and then all the DJs are just a part of some club and they don't get no money off of it. You know what I mean? Nah, it's a business. So as a business, it operates as a business, and that's what I appreciate that. You know what I mean? It's like they operate as a real business. So, you know, if you come there, you spend your money with us, you're going to get what you're asking for. And if it's something that doesn't go wrong, doesn't go right, Big X and Funky, they'll make it right. They're not janky promoters. You feel me? They'll make it right. They're not going to tell you, oops, oh, my bad, whatever, your money gone. Nah, they're going to give you your money back. They'll give you your money back. You know what I'm saying? Before they allow you to tarnish the name, saying that you didn't get what you asked for, which probably is because you weren't prepared. You feel me? But before that, they'll give you your money back, bro, until you kick rocks. No cap. So I respect that. I respect everything about that. I think it's super dope.
Nah, most definitely. I like how you mentioned too, you know, you kept saying rotation. You know, how frequent your music get played. That's the same as the radio going to every club. The more the song keep getting played, it sticks in people's ears. That's how the radio come off the people. You start hearing certain rotations.
That's real.
You know.
That's real.
So Word on the Net podcast, newly added venture, you know, to your resume. Currently 3 shows in. Like, how did the idea come about? And what content, you know, could viewers expect from the show? Like, what's the topics and discussions?
So yeah, so we do, you know, Word on the Net is basically like what's popping on the internet for the most part is the idea coming from our views and our insight, because, you know, since we're in the thick of things, we have a lot of individual insight and street insight that we can add in to these topics that are just being broadly covered. You know, when certain things pop off in the industry, a lot of times they start out here, or the real news of what's going on starts off here. So, you know, we talk about the Thugger and Gunna case, or the Young Thugger case. You know what I'm saying? We talk about his case, the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, and some of the insight that we get, because, you know, all them folks, they be working out of Atlanta, man. They come here. You know, I met Carl Crawford. Shoot, I just saw him again on Monday. We had our Believe Music Hall thing, so I shake hands with some of these CEOs quite often. So I get a lot of insight and in-look from their camp, you know, on how things are going and what things are going. And my boy Dame Doja, you know what I'm saying, he's been a part of the industry on that level for a long time as well. So we have just so many underground industry connects, people who make things move in the industry that they don't have big names because they're the workers. You know what I'm saying? But they give us the insight. So we try to pass along a little bit of that insight on to y'all and just be entertaining with it too. Cover some new news, some of these questions that you're asking me, like about how to be a better DJ, a better engineer, a better music professional. We cover all those things, you know, as well as you know, new events and breaking news and so forth like that as well.
Right. Who is on the roster?
On the podcast, it's me and my boy Dame Doja. We're actually recorded like maybe 6 or 7 episodes actually already, and we're starting to get a lot of the interviews lined up, because people are like pouring in now that they know that we have it there. You know, we have interviews coming up. We have a final draft that's coming up on February 2nd, so we're doing that final draft there. They just got signed to a major record deal. Shout out to them boys. They're an R&B group. They bring R&B back for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we need that.
Yes, we got them. We got OTR Big 4. He's coming for an interview soon. Michael Montana's coming for an interview soon. Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot coming, man. A whole lot coming. So I'm super excited about that. That's the new venture. It's something that we definitely needed to do. I'm getting older, man. Can't be out in the club every day. Got a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? So got to switch things up, whatnot, to get with the times, you know?
Nah, for real, man. So, as we, you know, sit here and reflect, you know, with me giving you your flowers, you know, on our platform, you know, for the people, how has your journey been, you know, thus far, though, from the beginning to now?
It's been fun. It's been fun. I don't think I would have chose a different career path, honestly. Is things happen the way that they happen, and as long as you put in your work early, bro, you'll reap the benefits. You just got to keep grinding. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? You could start off as an artist and then own your own podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy T Lee. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And become a great person, a great father like he is as well. You know what I mean? So you just gotta work on your craft, and every day make yourself better. You know what I'm saying? Strive to do better every day, and you'll be surprised how things turn out for you in the future.
Nah, for real, man. So Where does Deceptacon see himself in the next couple years, and what are you currently manifesting for yourself in 2023?
Man, I'm getting to that bag. You feel me? But I'm trying to. The reason for the bag though isn't just so I can floss, because I've never been a flashy type of guy. I really use all of my money, and most of the people who know me, they know the money that I have made over the years has gone back into the equipment, back into the facilities, back into helping artists do what they're doing, and me playing my role as a DJ, as an influencer. You know what I'm saying? To keep this ball that we call music rolling, keep the party going, man. That's the whole idea. Help people out and keep the party going. So when I do get the bag that I'm looking to procure, and we're collecting it currently, I'm gonna probably start a music label, you know what I mean, and actually start releasing artists on that scale, you know what I mean, to be able to put an artist on the top Billboard Top 200 out the gate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have 100K to drop behind an artist because it's there, you know what I mean? Because I have that connection. It might be through a distribution company, through Atlantic or something like that. I'm not sure yet, but I'm speaking positivity into it. And it's either going to be one of those labels are going to give it to me, or I'm going to take it. It's going to be one of the two, man. So it's coming. Either way it go.
Yeah, man. Sound like the next move is the CEO Birdman Master P.
Oh yeah,
I mean, from the beginning.
Yeah. That's it, man.
Nah, but most definitely, bro, it was an honor to have you on the platform, man. You know what I mean?
Man, this was great.
From a brother to another, you feel me? It's definitely been long overdue to give you your flowers, but I'm glad, the opportunity worked itself out, being that we upgraded to the platform we on now streaming on the Black-owned independent network. Shout out to the City Series Network, TV.com. Also, shout out to the sponsor, BOAMEDCB on Instagram, my Black-owned cryptocurrency, you feel me? Our 40 acres in a mule. But yeah, man, before we get off the podcast, man, I gotta ask you, last but not least, like, what does being an underdog mean to you, or when you hear the word underdog?
Man, underdog just means you are on your way. That's the way I look at it, man. You the underdog because you're on your way. You probably started a little later than the other people did because you're new to the game. That doesn't mean that you're less valuable. You're just new. New is actually better in a lot of senses. So just always look at it as room to grow. If you can stay the underdog the whole time, you can make as much money as the top dogs, but with less of the headache and the stress. One of the 48 laws of power. You feel me? So, it's better to be the number 2 than the number 1. The number 1 gets killed most of the time.
Oh, man. Hey, I like how you put that, man. You feel me? When you just said number 1 I always get killed, you just made me think about what's going on right now with the YSL situation.
Yeah. The head of the snake always get chopped off, buddy.
Man, it's crazy, man. But definitely form, bro. Like, looking forward to see bigger and greater things come from you, man. You know what I mean? It's nothing but, greatness to come, for the Deceptacon. You feel me? And congratulations on the new edition, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Pushing it and keep heading towards the greatness that's waiting on you, bro.
100, man.
But this was season 3, episode 15. Break Your Track, you feel me? Right here on the Underdawgs platform. DJ Deceptacon. Make sure y'all head over to the platforms. Word on the Net pod, you feel me? But yo, this was
shout out to you.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, 100, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
Already.
On my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. Or something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened. I got stones around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail. about myself. I let my nuts hang, cause they don't got no curfew. Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda